Already? God dang. Hi, Gothic. How are you?
How's your day going? Here's the sip from far away.
I mean, day. How's your week, technically? Right? You got orange juice? Good. I mean, good. I don't know. If you don't like orange juice, that's not good. You know, all these things.
Nothing's working. Everything's working. Ah. Ah.
Oh, I forgot that. That is important. Yes, yes. Yeah, much better. Don't worry about it. Well, hi also at the same time. Oh, got it. It is the first time you're on PC this week. That is, yeah, check, yeah.
What do you mean? I do the old voice too good. I don't know. I'm just old. That happens. Sorry.
You know, all that. The classic. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. I'm old. Comes with age.
I think for me it comes with age. I see. Yeah. Today we have a side cap for my hair. This thing right there. Popped in this morning. Yesterday was fine, was where it's supposed to be, and then I slept on it, and I folded the thing up, and yeah. Since this morning I have the 1600 wig from an aristocrat. Yeah.
Holy shit. It's so bad.
Yeah, it can be a radio antenna for sure. It can work as well, but I don't know. Today was a bit of a cooler day with a maximum temperature of 16 degrees. I'm still hot right now because it's 16 outside. But in the morning, I was cold-ish. My heater right there, turned on itself without me doing anything. He said, "Oh, you know what? It's cold outside. Let me just." I have that. Good job, Kat. Good job. We have some news. I may reveal things. I don't know yet. I'm still debating. We might not. We might. I don't know. The news that I shared with Kat already is going to be shared with everyone because, you know, that is important. As planned, I have received the thing. And yeah, that is the content of my hallway right now. I mean, I was about to say half of it, not half of it. Basically, two of these, and one of each are in the fridge right now. And I drank one of these two. I mean, I drank two today. The orange one is not that good. I knew that, but they didn't have the right flavors. They have a pineapple flavor, which is kind of much better than these two things. This is orange, this is lemon or lime. This is toxic galaxy shit, and this is frozen popsicle shit. These two are as chemical as it can be, and I love them. So yeah, then I'm gonna keep these for when I really need something good and just drink these. The lemon lime one is, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's not the best. And the orange one is just so bad. So that's the first news. Side news, not really a news, but kind of news. You know, all that. Some of the other activities. I drink two. I don't go further than two. That's the that's the rule for me. I used to do more than that, and I checked the content, like the amount of caffeine, the amount of other things in the can, and now I'm doing two. Two is good. And when I'm doing one of these as well, I usually just do one can in one of these because it's basically the same thing. This is like 150 milligrams of caffeine plus the same types of vitamins and other things. So yeah, you know, it, I see. I do that. I mean, basically, what I had my episode. I don't know exactly if it's an episode or something, but when I had the thing, when I was in Japan and I had to be in the hospital for 2 weeks, it wasn't necessarily connected to energy drinks per se, but it was one of these days when I had like 2.5, 3 big ones on the same day. And my brain made the connection, and so since then I'm kind of lowering the amount, but there are days when I'm taking 3, and it happens. It happens. Yeah, like that. Dabshi, hi, welcome in. That's bad. I need to check that. Oh, I'm gonna be hot. I see. How are you, Dabshi? How's everything? Have a good time with the pills, Gothic. I think that's gonna be, yeah. What's happening here? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. Huh. One second. Yeah, it's kind of bad. Congrats on the streak. Impressive. Kusa is good-ish. I retract what I said last time. There are some changes that have happened that I don't like now. As in, I hope the video feed on YouTube is gonna be good. I don't know at this point. Anyways, since the addition, since this morning technically, or last night, of OpenAI 1001 whatever. Chris, hi, welcome in. Yes, I wanted to ask you how the project was, so I guess it's similar things, Chris. Good. Yeah, because the new OpenAI model, which is thinking, is using basically all my credits in one go, it's just bad. Yeah, it's just bad. So, and also it's been making mistakes upon mistakes upon mistakes for the past 3 days. So I don't, as someone that doesn't know shit, most important thing, right? Because I don't know anything about what I'm doing when I'm doing the app on Swift. I can't correct what it's doing.
CatXoho just resubscribed for 25 months. When did that happen?
I don't know, but 25 is a long time. That's almost a year. Congrats. Thanks a lot for the resub. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. I might disclose and finally reveal what I've been working on for the past 2 months. Kinda. We'll see. What? Well, yeah, we'll see. The new OpenAI model is pretty good. It doesn't think well enough, but it think. So that's a pretty okay thing. I had the ability to change 3 or 4 things today in terms of visuals, in terms of animations, in terms of everything. So that's bad for me, and it also cost a lot. So I don't really like that. Overall it's fine. Overall it's fine. The cursor is good. Overall cursor good if you have the ability to understand what's happening in the code. Good. If not, less good. But yes, it can 100% write a full app from start to finish, or a full thing, by the way, Marmalade. If that's a thing that is interesting to you, you can also do that. Because that's what I did in the first place. But use cursor in the free model. It could be good. What else? Yeah, I might reveal that. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't used Grok at all. At all. I don't know if it's really a me thing, not a me thing. I don't know if it's good. But we'll see. Yes, my hair is my first design project. The thing is, I can't design it. I shared something with Kat earlier, and it's pretty good. Let me see if I can find the video that I shared. Might. Should. I'm currently here. That's the yeah. That is the current stage. I don't dislike it. I just need more beard, that's for sure. And I don't know if I would just like do that. It feels weird to me. It works, but it feels weird to me. So I don't know yet. It's not entirely about the hair, but you know. Also, it works. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one day. Could. That's the direction, I guess, for now. It is the direction. What the fuck? I need to fix out this thing. Also, can't have a good look, I guess. Yeah, now you're telling me that I'm on an excellent connection. What the fuck are you saying? I mean, yeah. You can stream to a different platform and have no close appropriate stream. Anyways, Chris, I just saw that. This is interesting and yes, different. As always, same question as usual. Is it stream friendly? Are you okay with me opening everything on specifics, or are there things that you don't want to have? Yeah. Displayed. I'm seeing you typing on Discord, so I'm gonna wait for that. For a second. I see. I see. You can be half naked on Twitch. That is an option. You do need to specify the category, but other than that, yeah.
Bad AOA, bad.
Shanshiro, hi, welcome in. How are you? Good? Good time zone. It's late. That is potential, yeah. That's a very different style, Chris. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna attempt to open them all, and I mean, different style compared to the usual thing that we're seeing from you. That's what I'm saying. Like the glass, the blur, the texture. I mean, there's no texture, but yeah. The AI generated image. I don't think you answered the question of, is it stream friendly? Are you okay with that? Okay, cool. So, again, there is like plenty of options. You have done the same page 50,000 times in the time that you were attempting to get the right render. So I get that. Are these the same? Like, is this the current one and this is the rebranded one? Or you probably have said that on Discord and I didn't read. That yeah, I'm gonna say that now. That's probably the case. My bad. So just yeah, before I say anything about this one specifically, I want to make sure that this one specifically isn't like something that you haven't done. That's Centro's creation. Cool. I see. So I'm seeing details here and there. It is interesting to have that's something that will come with time. It is interesting to have like a blurred background and a blurred background on top of it. If you ever have used glasses in front of your phone camera, you put it like that. You put the lens of your camera to the lens of your glasses, and then you remove your glasses and you can see that the camera itself is blurry as fuck. Or if you take the lenses of your glasses and you put them further out, you will see that everything that is outside of the glasses is blurry, but what you see in the lenses is clear. So it would be the opposite in a way, in terms of physicality. It is rarely happening where glass is gonna blur out more than the depth of field, unless the glass is meant to be blurred, therefore it's kind of weird. So I would rather have the background being clear and that being blurry. That's a detail. The second detail that I'm seeing here is the rounded corners here. This one is not fully rounded and this one is. It's a matter of nothing, but yeah, that's a very small detail that no one will see. So you're good with that. And the other side is not perfectly placed. The rule that we have is if you have the ability to get like the icon on a square, they need to have the same amount of space, top, bottom, left, right. So on these ones, left is not going to be an option. So it's just going to be top, right, bottom, need to have the same amount of space. So if it's like 4, you need to have 4, 4, 4. If it's currently, it seems as if it was like 8 to 12 from the pixel to the top. And that's gonna need to be like, let's say 8, 8, 8, and right now it's like 8, 8, 4. It needs to be pushed a tad to the left. Other than that, as she said, the logo is a bit not readable because it's green on top of green. Not the best contrast combo, and the login is weirdly placed and kind of undesigned. So if you think about the overall, like the overall page is really designed. There is a ton of things, details, effects, outlines, highlight, all of that. And then login is as if I just slapped a text layer. So yeah, I do agree with that. If it was like kind of darker, it would help to make things pop. But the rest of that page is really much an admin page login and not a consumer facing login. Whereas these are more like a consumer facing login because you want the user to see themselves in the product. So yeah, but I do like the color scheme and the effect on the glass, of course. I'm unsure about the bottom section because it's the same thing. The login and the bottom type fonts is mostly just slapped text because text needed to be there. Yeah, that's gonna be my main thing. And then on these ones, I'm gonna, yeah, you press enter. I'm gonna stay on these 4 first because they use the same image. And then these 2 are really like the same to an extent. So I'm just gonna go over the one that I like the best and then nitpick on the one that I like the best. So it's really complicated, to be honest, because I don't like the green background on this one. But it's the most readable when it comes to where you need to do something. This one is covering the girl's face, which could be a positive if it's like an AI generated image and you don't want the people to know that it's an AI generated image. So just cover the face or ensure that there is the least amount of tell that it is an AI generated thing. So I get that. This one is pretty good, but the left side is non-readable. Like, it's really hard. Manu, hi, welcome in. Good midday to you. And then this one is just, it's missing something. Flap Zero, hi.
Good day to you as well.
How are you? So this one is good because you have the text title things at the top, empower your life, whatever, and then the login underneath. If you had the same title here with one band that contains everything, that could work. Could. This here is really bad. Yes, we are doing a bit of a review from Chris. Like, this readability here is not. It's not. And it's the same thing here. The contrast ratio with the girl's face kind of makes things hard to read. And on the other side, it's also non-accessible, non-readable. So going back to what Dapshi said, maybe having the blurred effects get a bit of a darker background could help for readability for sure and accessibility. Like, basically what you did here, right? That is pretty good, maybe a tad darker than this. And they can also have a bit of a I was about to say blending mode, but I think a blending mode would, if it's just one, it's not going to be enough. Some effects added in blending to ensure that you have enough background contrast and all that to work with. And that's why here I kind of like this better, because you have a real separation on where you need to do things. So a combination of that title in black on top of that green section on the side, nothing here, could be great. Could be great, could help a lot for readability, could help a lot for user understanding of what they need to do and where they need to go. And then other than that, I think your main issue is accessibility contrast ratio. Like that makes sense. The effects on the buttons and the things that you have, I kind of like it, but I also see things that I don't like, as in you don't have the same amount of space on both sides of your input boxes.
Couch Pacino is now following.
Oh, that's a great name. Couch Pacino. I like that. Welcome on in. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? I like the name. Yeah. That is, yeah. I like that. So yeah, side to side, you don't have the same amount of space, and like there is different colors. Like maybe this is the harvest state, and that's what you wanted to share and have as a preview. Cool. Therefore, we're good with that. If that's not the case, and you just said correct, but if that wasn't the case, that would be bad. But it is the case, so good. I get it. I get it. UX designer living in Denver, Colorado. Welcome. The CEO is Colorado, I think. I don't know. I'm not from this side of. I think CEO is Colorado. Maybe. Maybe. Yes. Cool. I'm from the other side of the planet, so yeah. I don't know these things, but we'll go on in. If you're interested in design stuff, you're in the right place. If you have a design question, feel free to ask, as always. And if you have design to share, feel free to share as well. Don't hesitate to just share a link if you want, like some reviews, some insight, or some things. Do you think I can help? I will be happy to help. Always. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know here. So I'm thinking about placing, as I said, placing this title at the top on the green side because that would be better. But the thing is, the green, there is no code. The code is potentially coming after. I don't know yet. The green is good. It's a good touch, right? It is a good touch, but the green on top of the green here, you will end up with what we had here, which is not readable. So, you know, attempting something different. You could have the green in white. You could have the green in a lighter green on top of the darker green. Maybe, but I doubt it would be good. And then on this one, the thing that I don't like is the button itself. I like that button green, that bright green button. I doubt, again, that the sign in is contrast ratio accessible because of how green works, specifically bright green. So in order to kind of fix that, you can have the font being bolder or bigger, and right there, bigger is better. So, I mean, you know, here is going to be better if you have like a bit of a bigger fonts for your buttons. I do like that accessibility wise, but I don't like the color. I don't think it works with it. Even if it's a tumor, that means that you're dead faster. You know, it's it makes things go easier. Anyways, other than that, for the first four that are kind of the same thing, that's mostly what I have to say for the layout. The layout is pretty good. I like the fact that the picture is important, and helps with the it helps the person project themselves and see themselves using the thing, I guess. So that that could help. Going to the other test that you have, these two, as you said, these are supposed to have rounded corners, but you just forgot that in the export, which is fine. Now that I know, I'm just not gonna mention that it's not rounded. But I like both. I really like that section. I think the side with Superline, I think that's the font that you've used. It's either that or it's Bebas. I think it's Superline. It is Superline. No question. Anyways, it's fun. It has a bit of an offset. You could have something work with your cursor, or on load, you could have the image go on top of it and you see the parallax or whatever. That makes sense. This section feels weirdly empty, and it feels as if you did your best to organize things, to take the space and leave some space for the illustration, whereas this one you just said, oh, this is the content, and the illustration is there to help, but it's not necessary. So this is the content I think personally is better. The layout is okay. This is a very zigzaggy pattern because you will have to do password, email, which is weird, then sign up, where usually you do, usually it's the other way around. And you probably have said that on Discord. but I could see a stack instead of a side by side. So having like login to step closer to sustainable future in like one line, maybe, and then email, password, sign in, options, text, things. It could be like one narrow column instead of that kind of full width thing. That's an option. But I don't know. I have a bit of a lack of understanding of the project. Again, it's just a login page, so I don't know everything. I don't know what the app is about. I don't know how the content is supposed to be. I don't know shit. You know, that's always the thing. For me, first reaction would be to rephrase this, which is step closer to sustainable future would be enough if the button says login. And that's what I don't really like, the fact that this is login, this is sign in. Make sure that you have the same words. I mean, typos. I don't read typos. My dyslexia just moved them out. But yeah, this is a potential thing where I would say step closer to a sustainable future. Probably. Yeah. I do like that section though. That's why I'm like, eh. Yeah, sign in, sign up. Login, register, usually. And then that, I don't know why you, I mean, I do know why, but like you added Twitter because here you didn't have the space and now you do have the space, so you have one more. I know it's fictional, as you just said, but if it, like, adding something just because you have the space doesn't make it necessary, and it could unbalance everything. So yeah, that's the thing. I feel like overall I like that side here, the left side. Yes, the left side better compared to this one. But it really depends on the goal. If the goal is to be human is going to be better than illustration. If the goal is to have sustainable future, green electricity, all of that, then that's pretty good. So it was more of a, I should really put this in there, given it's a social network I use the most. I didn't think about it till the last one. I see. Log him. Hi, welcome in. Let's see if you can make it.
Yes,
I doubt it. You're in the center. You know what? Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Sorry. How are you? How's your day going? So yeah, if it's a more human relationship with the product, potential product, I know it's fake, then human is going to be better. No. And then this one, if it's more like just a tech related thing and you just want to have the tech related things, and that's enough. I feel like this is better for the illustration side. So this and this is the illustration side. This is the illustration side when you compare both of them. The rest is mostly like accessibility issues and alignment issues. It's really sad that it's nothing. Like the distance here is like 21 on this side and then 31 on the other side. Again, this is the tool that is telling me this, dude. It's not entirely true, but it's 10 pixel difference on both sides. It's just too much. I mean, yeah, if you really want me to give you like some specific things, the forgot password should be underneath the password, not underneath the socials. Socials is kind of weird. If you have socials like this, it implies that it's a link to the social networks rather than a login with socials. So would probably say or add or continue with, like here has been made. And then there is, as Chris said, there is no button to complete and go further, like log in. There is no option to register. There is no information about where we are. If this was like a model that popped in to prompt the user to answer or enter the login username and password, the background needs to have something that resemble, that's more English, resemble a landing page. So you can have that as a model that just pops in and blurs the background, but you probably would have the logo here blurred and then the pages behind it and some content behind it just in case. So I would do that. The thing is, you're saying like I should go back to your page and rip it apart. There is not much to rip apart. That's the thing. Like most of the effect positioning is pretty good. There is a lot of consistency issues, and it's the same thing. It's the accessibility issues for the contrast ratios. One of the other things that I can talk about is the icons, because we've been working on that for a long time. These two icons have different styles. This one has first of all, it's blue and it's kind of thick. And this one is kind of dark blue. It's not pure black, but it's kind of dark blue. And the space in between the head and the body is bigger than the space in between the lock and the lock mechanism. And so to have consistency, you need to take your icon from the same pack.
Mom!
Like that. That pack is pretty good. And we have good icons in there. But we don't have like the solid icons. So, you know, debatable. So that could be a thing. And I don't understand the bottom. I don't see the point. Yeah. If you wanna Google image the icons, use the noun project. That's not gonna work. I need to do that. The golly.
Was that not working?
There. God damn, that took a while. Oh, fuck's sake. This is kind of the best option that you have right now. If you are looking for icons and you want like a set, or you want just one specific icon, the most useful one is going to be a set. But if you just wanted like a user profile something, you will have. I mean, I appreciate it. You will find probably sometimes when you click on one, it says, oh, this is part of a bigger set. And and in there you will have the accessibility or the option to check the others and say, oh, I wanted like a lock, I wanted like the profile person, I wanted something else. And these, again, are most of the time free. This one isn't, but yeah. Like I can say that you want the attribution required, which is basically Creative Commons, because you are currently learning. And in there you can say, just get this icon. It's pretty useful. If you are a dev, you know that this is a fucking SVG. So it's accessible if you need it. If you really do, it is free and accessible, and it's good. So I would highly recommend the Noun project because it's mostly free, and you have a ton of good quality icons that are parts of sets. The other options is Icon Store, but it's it's old. We haven't had like a good update to the Icon Store in a while, and yeah, that's a debatable thing. I do like it though. Personally speaking, I like them a lot because there is like a ton of them, and they are small packs. And if you just need like a very, very subtle, simple SVG based thing, and you have like a bit of an ID, like I need a duotone bicolor icon set, is one. Doesn't mean it's the best icons, but it could really help build or help you build like a new entire set. I did the one that I use all the time, which is Bikini.
Mom.
Bikini is one of the set that I used for creating my own icon set, and this is like a 60 pack, and it's 20 by 20 icons. I transformed them from 20 by 20 to 24 by 24, and then also made 200 icons in total for this specific pack, which is like duotone or bicolor. So I do like that. Good starting point. That's gonna be my main recommendation. So yeah, these are the recommendation for icons. Nonetheless, going back to this. No, it's shit. This? That's what you're talking about, Devshi? That mini PC things? It's really shit. The main reason why I don't like it is because it's not powerful enough to power up the mic that is above the camera right now, which is not good. And also it just has like 3 HDMI. You can't see it. Just had 3 HDMI ports right there and 3 USB ports right there, but there is nothing else. Like there is no USB-C, there is no display ports, there is nothing in there. So what I'm probably going to use that for is only for chat. So in the prompter itself right now, which is behind the camera, there is the chat, so I can look at the chat and it's good enough. And so I can just use that to display chat. But technically I can display chat with a smaller one, an even smaller one, and that might happen. I don't know yet. Might happen. Anyways, it's shit. If you want like a good one, I would highly recommend the mini forum, I think. Alan, hi, welcome. Mini forums are pretty powerful. So, could recommend that. You do your research though, like LTT research would help, for sure. Like this one is mini PC, right? Um, but they do have like one that I now look at and think about potentially I should have done went was one of these instead, because they do have like a tablet format, which apparently I can't click on. Oh, I can click on it here. Cool. Like to me, this is way more powerful than what I just bought. If I knew, I would have bought this one, because I had to buy like a secondary screen, and this being a tablet, it doesn't really need a keyboard and mouse to work because it's touch. So yeah, it's overall pretty good. I don't know if it's good enough to play games, but yeah, that's also a good question. Also, this looks like an Apple copy thing. So, debatable. Debatable. Nonetheless, could potentially recommend Minis Forum, which is pretty good. Going back to this. Yeah, I don't see other thing to say, Shantiro, about this page, other than there are things that makes no sense. I'd say the common patterns are not respected. Respected is doesn't exist, but like common pattern is not entirely respected. If you want like inspiration, just go on Pinterest, Dribble, whatever, and just look for login page. From there, you will have a ton of base that take the same ID. So this is basically your ID on here. It's just like one model in the middle of the screen with a background, with an image in the background. The background. That's what I was about to say. And yeah, that's about it. So you can see how the pattern of that screen is. You have the logo in the top left, which will most of the time always be in the top left. You have the login model or pop-up or screen or card or however you want to call it in the center. And the content has specific set of roles. You have title, subtitle if necessary, input fields for your email, input field for your password. Forgot your password, it's usually going to be underneath the password field, and most of the time bottom right, but I sometimes like it on the bottom left, depends. Then you have a button that just send the form to the servers to make sure that the user exists or doesn't exist, all that, and then all sign in with socials. X, Twitter, Facebook, whatever is there, but like that's the common pattern. If you go into something like this, for example, it is similar to what Chris has done, but it's the same pattern on the side. Did I do that move? I don't. I didn't even realize that I was doing that. Chris, that's yeah. Anyways, that is the thing. Like Chris, same thing for you, by the way. This one being like a triangular illustration thing with the hand coming into the main thing. Dang. one column thing. That pop-ins right there. Much bad. Anyways, the main pattern is the same everywhere. So once you recognize that, it starts to be easy. For example, this one being like a similar ID in terms of isometric grid. You see that this section is smaller to just have the strip. I'll call that a strip on the right side, and for you, you have big ass. You have swapped the things basically, so different things. Nonetheless, main patterns being kind of the same. This one is just reverse. You have the login with socials first. Here's an option. Yeah, just following the main patterns is going to be helpful in the long run. So that once you know that, be good. One thing that I didn't say, I'm not sure entirely about it right now. I don't think I can be sure. Yeah, I see. So it is centered in a way. That's crazy. It looks uncentered because of the white blobs on the side. It might benefit from darkening the background. Jonathan, hi, welcome in. How are you? I'm there. That's where we are. So, yeah, sure, that's about it. I think contrast in general for most of these, like for this one as well. I mean, I'm saying this one, for these ones as well.
PSJ Jonathan just resubscribed for 16 months. Gosh, how?
I think it's the day. I appreciate it. Welcome back. 16 months. You take the second, kids. I don't care. Take care of the kids. I don't. Not me. Not a me thing. Thanks a lot for the quick sub. I appreciate it. I don't like my hair today. It's just like just a fluff on one side and no fluff on the other side. Huh. Hey, Chris, I think that's about it. It's yeah, and half hard haircut. I know. Used to that. Contrast in contrast in general, like accessibility contrast is going to be the most important thing for both of you to kind of ensure things works. Like I really have uncertainty on the forward password to be visible enough, on the sign-in to be visible enough, on most of the text here to be readable. I have a feeling that it will be okay, but because of the behavior of the website, meaning that that section, if it's a 50-50, it seems to be a 50-50, depending on the screen size of the user, the text is probably going to be on different parts of the image that is going to be in the background. Therefore, you might end up in a spot where there is more trees and you're good for like doing the mockups and having everything in there. But then for someone else that has a wider screen, they end up on top of buildings, and yeah, they complicated. So that's why I don't know. But going back to this one, this black, that's racist, black background is better. for accessibility things. It's still not black enough. Again, but yeah. And Ginger, I appreciate that you appreciate it. I know that sounds weird, but yeah. Exactly. Kinda, yeah. A bit darker background is going to be easier to basically ensure that you will always be accessible. The trick that I have, and I showcased, we're going to talk about that maybe at some point, I don't know. The trick that I have is very simple. You create like your plain rectangle, you use Unsplash to add whatever. I think it's slow as fuck. God damn. It's the architecture. Let's use something weird. Then, cool. If I'm doing this and then I have a model that is going to be white on top, bitch. Model that is going to be white on top. And I don't know, you probably did like a 20% or something, maybe a bit more. Let's do 40 for the sake of checks. And then you have a background blur right there. The test that I usually do is, what if that image is white? Do I still see my content? And most of the time the answer is no. So in order to make sure that this happens, you just do that. And you're good. And it works. So you can go both ways. You can say, I want to be dark background for the model, or I want to be white background. But I want the white background to be like way wider in order to ensure that anything that would be on top of it would have enough contrast and not be distracted by the background itself, like the image if there is an image. But that idea of not putting like white text on top of that is to ensure that if I do that, I put it in black, and I do that here, like it's readable on both sides. And it doesn't matter. That's something that I said some time ago. I was looking at some of the medias that I've been sharing. That is a pretty true tip. Very French of me. When it comes to accessibility, the context or the content is more important than the box itself. So if the background is not accessible on top of the background, you don't give a fuck about that. You do give a fuck about the ability of the people to read the text that is inside of the box. So here, if your box disappears at some point, but you can still read hello, you're good. If you were doing white on top at like 100% and background being like a 10% or 20%, here you can read it, but it absolutely disappeared on the other side. So you kind of want to avoid that. And to avoid that in question, ensuring that you have like a dark enough background to give you enough contrast, pretty good. So overall tip for this: contrast, accessibility, all that. So here, darker, similar to this one. This one is pretty okay. It's a bit too light. And then you can also do that. This is a pretty common pattern. At this instant, we saw like multiple of them. Like these cards with the image and the login on the side, just on the side. Similar pattern, similar pattern, similar pattern. You can see that. What the fuck? And no, this is not a real project. I think that was like a concept. Yeah. Sharpen the eyes, not the teeth. I mean, the teeth you can, but that's just the eyes. Eyes are enough. Teeth for later. Debatable. Eyes, yeah. Yeah. Similar, right? Design patterns. Don't know if I like it, but it is one of the similar design patterns that we see, which is biggest image, small form, do the thing, we're good. I think that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, I like what you've done here in terms of composition. I like the green button. For a reason, I would just make the font way bigger. I would probably use either, not either, I think I would use this size of font. Robin Spy, hi, welcome in. Like that don't have an account size of font with, which is kind of bold as well. I would use that for the sign in. I feel it would have a greater contrast ratio. Did I just do that? I just did that. God damn it. Yes, it is clear, but it's not too clear. That's exactly what I'm going in right there. If you have, let's do 16 right there, and one of these. If you use a Twitter blue type of situation, and that's your button, roughly, button, kinda, it works. This is not entirely accessible, but this is the same colors. However, it is highly accessible because recognizing the text is going to be way easier based on the shapes themselves. Yes. So then plugins, god damn it, not you. Plugins is going to be contrast. So use contrast is the plugin that I use most of the time, and right now we are at 3.6. 3.6 works for large. So if the text is large, then we're good. If the background was like lighter here, which is mostly what Twitter used to be, kinda around here. This is a non-accessible thing, but it's still accessible in a way. You may have used ally, which is okay, like A11Y, I think. Ally is pretty good usually. Nonetheless, doesn't change anything in what I was about to say. If you have the same color and your contrast ratio is like really close to like 3% or 3.0, it's not good, but this is less accessible than this, mainly because of the text font, like the weight of the font being a bit thicker. And then if you didn't want to be that thick, because that's not not in your genes, it's not in your habits to have like fonts that big, you could go into medium or regular to stay or keep the same thing. Instead of being 16, you make it 18, for example, and that's gonna probably help. I see. The same thing, it is bigger, therefore more accessible. This is bad, right? Both of these examples are bad, but as a starting point, it can help. I feel like I'm gonna delete a lot of Untitled today. So yeah, other than that, I think that's almost it. You said something, also Larkin, this was for you. You said, God damn it. That was a good pose. You said tomorrow's task is a hero image for fitness app. Good job on landing right in the center. That is impressive. Task hero for a fitness app. Dribble, Behance, Pinterest, do that before you even do anything. Even if it takes like a long time, that could be fun. Could have been fun. Yes, do that first. Like, go on Behance, look for fitness apps. Sometimes it will be good, sometimes it won't be good. But just do that. It did.
It does work on this side. That's the thing that I don't understand.
It just had a bit of a break there. It's not the multi-streaming thing, because we've been multi-streaming for a while. It's just, I mean, I know what happens. One of my neighbors moved in. Anyways, going back to this. Right, if this is something that you like, just do that. But get references. Yes, can't have a different type of cardio tomorrow. So there is multiple things, yes. The mic has a bit of an issue with being where it is now compared to where it used to be. And I don't like, I can't really place it where it's supposed to be, which is sad. So I get it. Yeah. Nonetheless, the app is crazy. The app is saying that I'm not live right now, which is not the case because I can see myself.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't think that's a Twitch thing, Stoney. I think that's a different. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, it's saying that I am live, but no one's watching, and we haven't been streaming, or we are not streaming. And then on my app, it's showing that I'm not live. This is weird. I think it's a Twitch thing and not a me thing. And now we have Stream Element popping in the stream saying that I'm now live. This is weird. I don't think this is a multi-stream thing. I think this is mostly like a Twitch issues for the day. It sucks for you, but that's a you thing, Stoney. That's just a you thing. Like you are more distracted than me for some reason. Anyways. Going back to what I was saying earlier, go back to Behance, Dribble, other platforms, all of them. Should work, should help, should be good. At least do that, have a reference. And you will, yeah, it would be better. It would be better. Most of the time. God dang. I just look at my hair and it's really bad. I don't like that. I don't like that. Let me try something. Let me try something. I think it's not gonna work, but let me try something. It could work. You don't really have much to set up, Cat. I think it's just a browser source type of thing. So you're kind of good. At least for me, kind of good. It should be fine. Might have a disconnect. I'm just saying that now. Might have a disconnect. Not yet. Not yet. No pics on Discord. Not a thing. Not right now, at least. Oh, I see what's happening. Yeah. I see. Cool. So it's not a... Might disconnect. Bear with me, all that. I don't know. I don't know. I doubt. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I doubt that this would work overall. It did disconnect. Yeah. It did. It did. Twitch app on Android is kind of weird, to be honest. Just doesn't want to do the thing, which is bad. Anyways, doesn't change shit. Oh, that was weird. So that's the main recommendation, Chris. Just doing a bit of improvement in contrast for most of the things, but also having a bit of research beforehand, specifically for tomorrow's. It's gonna be easier, I guess. It's gonna be easier for you to get like a bit of a reference check, and then be good, And congrats, Larkham, on not lending. I feel like the new app, I haven't tried it on iOS for sure, but the new app on Android is really bad. Like it's just, yeah. It's not. It is a tad smaller than chat. Yes. It has like 1 pixel top and bottom. Or do you mean bigger than chat as in font size? Yes. If that's what you meant, yes, it is. Good job, Robert Spy, on lending that. Let's see if it's rigged. Oh yeah, it's not rigged. I see. Cool. It's not. It's not rigged. It is the exact same size. It's even cropped in. I think it's 1 pixel lower than the box. I think it's like 91 pixel in height, and because it is resized, it is smaller. And the chat is 92, and it has been cropped by OBS to 89. So technically both of them are contained into one single thing. It does have a bit of a glitch thing on the far left corner when it retracts in, but it is not entirely fixable. So yeah, it is running really fast though. That's what I don't like. I need to update that to make sure that we have less things happening. But yeah, the placement makes it look like it has 1 pixel bigger at the bottom. Specifically, if I'm zooming in, you can see that. I mean, you can't see that, but yeah, it looks as if. I agree with you. I think it mostly is misaligned on dark mode, which is what you like. Yeah, that's what you see, which is not what OBS sees. But yeah, I agree with that. I think if you go into here, it's gonna be aligned visually for you because one of them has a shadow that doesn't create something. So it's visually more aligned on light mode than it is on dark mode. I know. That is not so good. Thank you for the person check. I need that. I need that. Oh, I hurt my back. I did hurt my back at the gym. I had a good set, and I made a bad move, and yeah.
It's muscle time!
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. I was doing chest press on the Smith machine, which is really good. It's good for chest, as the name implies. Bench press, all that. And it was good. For once, I didn't hurt my shoulder. But what happens is that my back, instead of being flat on the bench, when I'm doing them, I'm kind of arching by default. And it's just a hurt today. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And yes, hydrate is out of stock for a second. I think you can't drown me. Anywho, we need to talk about this before I go into talking about other things. Yes. That zoom was on point. I don't need it. I can't use it. I do want it. Yes, they have built this new amazing Stream Deck Studio, which is a bit expensive, but it contains so much stuff that are so good for professional streams, as in broadcaster, TV host, all of these things, and it's so good. And you can embed that on the desk and have I love this thing already. But yes, it is meant for really, really big streams or live broadcast. I would say it's not really for streams. I think it's for broadcast, which is different in my head. But the entire thing is really cool. It's like just a rack mount with an Ethernet port in the back. You have a big. You have a not negligible USB-C in front. A dial. You can charge your phone. You can plug like another Stream Deck. That's what they have in the showcase. It's just good. It's just good. Just good. Yes. I mean, I currently have. You don't see it because you don't see it, but I currently have 3 pages of buttons that are kind of set up in here in the Stream Deck that I'm using, that Stream Deck specifically contains a folder that has like other buttons, and some of these things are toggles. Some of the things that are here are also like subfolders. So me personally, that rack, just one rack, yeah, I do fill out one rack just with what I use today. So I like this thing. I can't use it with my computer because it is built in to be working with a specific software that isn't like the Stream Deck software. So I don't like that, but yeah. I was debating buying an XL to put on the side. I'm also debating. That website is good. That's the thing. I'm also debating like this. This one, just as a side thing, because it's great. It's cute. It could be really useful. I don't know why, but it could be really useful. Nonetheless, I do have one Stream Deck regular here and one Stream Deck regular in Japan in white. So I can combine both. But yeah, for now, just that. Anyways, Dan, Larkham, if you're still there, this has been pretty interesting in a concept kind of way to understand how to build like fabrics in drawings. The way that they do the thing is basically you do like a plane, basic plane, and then you do a squiggle at the top, a squiggle at the bottom, and you try to create the wave by following that same squiggle with arrows in it. And that helps you to create like that wavy shape. And I saw that I was thinking about talking about it here because that's pretty interesting and important to know and learn. And I feel like you're probably close to that stage already. You can start with this. If fabric is complicated, I agree. You can like really start with the classic things. But yeah, other than that, I just saw that and I just wanted to touch on that. Josh, hi, welcome on in.
How are you? How's your day going?
No, I do know front-end dev already, to a degree. I don't know HTML, CSS, and 80% of the structure of JavaScript. 80% of the structure just means like 10% of JavaScript, but you know, 80%. No, React is not really a thing that I am interested in per se. I'm interested in learning how it works and to be able to communicate with the devs for sure. But yeah, I was about to, but then Chris asked things. I'm blaming Chris. So, I'm about to uncover things. I've been hinting at it for the past month and a half, basically. I think the first hint has been like a month and a half ago, roughly. We could say 2 months if we wanted to be wider, but yeah, been working on this thing for 2 months, and it came out from this. which we went through a second ago. That popped in my head, and I saw that on Pinterest, obviously, and it popped in my head multiple times in 1 week. I was like, this is pretty cool, and I tried to find it again, and I couldn't, and then it popped back on Pinterest, and so I kept it. And for some reason, it popped in my head with a very specific use case. So I built the thing that popped in my head. And from what popped in my head, then popped this, which is a list of kanjis that are used in Japanese because I'm learning Japanese, and that makes sense. And then I looked at Japanese learning app in general, and some of them are pretty good, some of them are pretty bad, and I kept some of the things, and I liked kind of the design and the IDs. So I went into like some planning, and that was enough planning. So I then went into this, which was like mapping out what is needed. And so the initial thing that I shared earlier basically built this, which is extremely subtle background as a concept that I used as a background ID for this app thingy. And this is like in the deleted screens because that's not necessary anymore. But that's the that was an ID in a way. It might come back soon, I don't know yet. But I went into a lot of tests, and that's where I built these kind of squiggly, bendy app toggles, pickers, things, I don't know how to call them. And I went into trying to find and understand and make sure that we have the whole things working with like the concept of characters and all that. Alan, I think the stream is working, but if I say that and you can't see me, it's complicated. So I work on that. I try to do the whole thing and make it work. It was fun. And right now, we are here. We have, I can't click on this thing because if I click on this thing through the kind of inspector-ish type of thing, it kind of breaks. So we have hiragana and katakana that works. We have a bit of an ID to showcase or not showcase the readings of the characters. We have a list of radicals with the content. Each of the sections are going to be highlighted if like it's something that you have clicked on in the past. So let's say that this is something, you can click on it and then expand it, see how it works, see what it is, all of that. And you have this massive thing that is the 229 megabytes XML file. Basically, just to give you a bit of a range, this is the kanjis for N5 right there. This is the kanji for N4. This is the kanji for N3 and N2. Right? You can see how much, I can't really zoom out, but yeah, that's in N3 and N2. And this one here is N1. And these are single characters. So in there, I don't think I can do that, but in there, each of the characters themselves then have a list of associated words that are using the characters with the readings and the understanding and all that. The thing is, right now, it's kind of hard to get out of these things. But yeah, that was kind of complicated. And then you have the dictionary, which is loading the entire XML at once, so it takes ages. That's what I need to figure out. But we have this thing that works, and we have all of the readings for all of the common words in there. So the idea here for me is to get like a bit of a faster way to access some data. That was the thing. Right now we are kind of doing that. I'm absolutely not duplicating what Apple has with the rings. But let's be clear on this one. I did this entire thing through that. And the entire code base, the entire structure, the entire thing just AI generated. So that's impressive to me. I think like the ability to have this entire app done and working in a way that is well, pretty good. I do say so myself. To get like this entire thing, let me see if I can do that. I doubt that it's gonna work, but we could try. I doubt it. We'll see. The simulator is kind of bigger than what we can have with these things. It's just also will take ages. That is a fact. That is a fact. It is bigger-ish. Anyways. It works in both sides as well. Light mode and dark mode. Which, that took a day as well. Like, to make the thing work. But again, just the main point being, in technically a week, I had the entire app done. And in the month and a half later, I just tried to fix things that I couldn't figure out. So that has been kind of fun for me to get the entire thing like kind of working. Yeah. The structure and the logic for me to figure out how to do this, like if I click on the thing, it means that I've seen it. So for hiragana and katakana, basically it's every time that I'm gonna use the quiz section and checking things, saying, oh, this is like chi, okay, cool. How easy was it? This was extremely easy. Oh, this is re. So we have some issues with the animation because I can't figure that out yet. Let's say I'm making a mistake. I'm saying this is to. No, the right answer was instead of to. So that way you have like a bit of a hint saying, oh, for next time you know what that is. So I had the entire thing, and at the end you have a bit of a score, which is pretty good. And that then will highlight the katakana and hiragana that I have seen during the quiz. And for learning purposes, I'm kind of doing some spaced repetition in a way. Yes. Interesting. Have a good burger? Cat? Sounds interesting. So when I was looking at the kanji list for N5, which is the entry level. I know 99% of them. There is more than 100, so I'm probably not knowing like 5 or 6. But when you're reading or looking at this specific page, you can see and you can have the reading underneath. And so for practice purposes, I decided to add like this tiny thing right here that just hides the readings. And that's why I can say, okay, so this is like ichi, nana, ma, mi, re, shita, naka, kyu. And then maybe I'm like, what is this one? I forgot. And I have two options. I can either click on it and it opens and it gives me, oh, so that's two. That makes a lot of sense. Cool. Or I could just click on the eye and have the reading and then click on the eye again and continue my list to make sure that I know everything. And then I'm arriving at like, I don't know, N4. I'm like, okay, so this is this. I absolutely don't know what that is. Let me just check it out. It's E. And I'm like, E? Are you sure about that? I'm clicking on it and it's like, oh, it's E, but it's also motte. And so I can then pick up things in understanding how the word is pronounced. And so it's currently only using the Japanese, the Chinese reading first and not the Japanese reading, which is kind of sad. But we can also see, oh, so this kanji right there is using the person radical right there. So what is the person radical already? Oh, that's the person radical, cool. And it's used in these kanjis, more kanjis. Okay, cool. Cool. You have a bit of an ID and you understand more stuff. So it's a bit of a non-spaced repetition, but kinda. I think at some point I will have something that is going to be spaced repetition to a degree. I don't know what degree, but to a degree there will be something, that's for sure, to help. But for now, the ID is just this. And so the quiz, that was also kind of complicated. The quiz button, the entire bottom bar, which is kind of sad because the dark mode is better. I wish we had the settings. Can we do that? I don't even know if we can do that, to be honest. On like display. I don't think we can. Ha! We can't. I said nothing. That's much better. That bottom section took my entire day today. I spent the entire day to make sure that it was there because it disappeared for some reason. Once I added the gradient grain that you can't probably see on stream, sorry, it just disappeared. It moved out of the way, and I don't understand why. So yeah, I had to figure it out. But the quiz button specifically is linked to the current page, but it's the exact same every time. So if I'm here and I'm pressing quiz, I'm getting quizzed on radicals. If I'm here and I'm pressing quiz, I'm gonna get quizzed on the hiragana and katakana sections, and same thing on the kanji side. So that's a thing that took a bit of a long time, but the mindset that I have is good apparently, as far as I can tell, and as far as the AI chatbot that I've been talking with is. That is a positive reinforcement that I don't think it's a good thing, but right, that happens. Most of the time, the way I thought and the way that I kind of planned how to organize the files, how to structure things, how to pull something out of a view, and making sure that I have like the character components being like a single entity component that can be reused across the entire app without really having to think about it. That kind of worked, so I'm pretty happy with that overall. Thing being said, thing being said, I don't know if I'm gonna release this app on the store for one single reason. The App Store isn't a free release thing, and I need to pay $100, $99, €99 specifically, to be able to be released on the store. And because it's an iOS app and not an Android app, I can't like share a package that contains the app. It's not an option. So I don't know. I don't know what I'll do yet. But yeah. Maybe. I was also thinking about something right now, as I just said, like the overall, like even the preview in Xcode is taking too long or to load like the kanjis and the dictionaries, and that is too long for the preview to be rendered, so it breaks. If I'm trying to load the kanji view, for example, it will do its things and try to load and have a spinner for a long ass time. And you have this thing, it will tell you here that it loaded the 20,000 entries. And when that pops in here, this breaks. Because it took more than 5 seconds to load. So it's not 20,000, it's 209,000 entries. That's so many. So the plan in terms of monetizations, because it is a designer related app, and it's yeah, I tried to do that, and because of the way that it is and it's parsing the XML file, it doesn't work. I know for you it's probably like, oh yeah, that's an obvious thing. It should just do that, but it doesn't work. I tried. Basically, it is parsing this file right there, which has 3,519,999 plus lines in one file. And that's one. And we have a second one that contains the kanjis themselves. And so the kanjis themselves is 500,000. Right? 500,000. So it's a small file. Also, it is weirdly organized. I can't like yeah, it's weird. That's all I'm gonna say. It's weird. So what I try to do is like split them into level related and just load the N5 level, and that works, and that makes the app faster on load, which makes sense, right? Because you just have to load like these things for the kanjis, but it still need to load this one, which is like the 4,000,009 file. And how can I say? I try to limit this one as well. I did that with like specific things. And so the thing that I was about to say is monetization wise, I think I could have packs related to topics that cost like nothing, like $1 per pack. And the arts and culture and design related pack is the one that I will have as a base because obviously that makes sense to me. But the rest could be added later. So I don't know. But yeah, these are going to be easier to just scan. So I could do that. I could just load this one or load the other. Does it make sense? But it's the same thing. So it just takes a lot of time to load. Nonetheless, it's hard. It's hard. This one is still 18,000, 20,000 lines for no fucking reason. It's, and so the implementation of SQLite or SQLite didn't work. They broke the entire thing. Didn't really work with the way that the XML is placed. The implementation of the core data structure, which is something that iOS has, didn't really work either, so I had to reverse it. It's just a mess. And yes, Chris, learning about database structure is a thing that I tried, but yeah, it's just, golly. Most of the last 2 months have been trying to figure out how to make the data work and the data load faster and not have the kanji model to basically load that specific file or like load it in batches and just take the first 1,000 lines and then the next 1,000 lines and all of that. But what happens is that it takes the first 1,000 lines and it stops. Yeah, it's just, it has been a mess. The sad thing is, again, last Monday, or on Monday this week, I decided to do the app again from scratch with a new data structure to see if I could have the thing work, and I did, and it worked. But because it was a new file and a new thing, it needed to like redo the whole design thing that I did, redo the whole structure and logic for the character counts, for all of these things. So I kind of gave up and deleted the branch, but yeah. Though, again, going back to what we were saying earlier with Dapshi, cursor has been helpful a ton. It just keeps a little amount of chats that I'm doing, but as you can see, yeah. I want the thing to be okay. So I'm gonna go here. The entire app is offline and 100% offline. In the beginning, in the first week that I did it, I used an API that is using the Kanji Alive API that basically gave me speed and reactivity and all the things that I needed, because all of the calls were when needed. Right, I click on something, I have the data for it requested, and I get the information. So that was good. But that entire thing, I got the API rate limit reached while testing, which is not good. If that happens already when you're testing things, it's not enough. So I decided to move to fully offline. And when I'm looking at fully offline options, I don't really have a lot of options. But yeah. Yeah, SQLite was pretty good. SQLite, I never know how to pronounce that. But yeah, that entire thing, that entire months of fighting with the data has been hard. Has been the hardest thing to figure out. And then I'm also like showing it to my Japanese teacher to check that the content is good and that the overall like structure makes sense, that people would understand if something happens. Dang, that's hard. But design-wise, it's pretty cool. I don't really like the current state of the things. I would highly love to be able to do the thing that I wanted to do in the first place, which is this. Like, this would be amazing if I could build that, or bit where you hit. There. Or this, like this simple structure. Love to be able to do that. I can't figure it out. It doesn't work. It just doesn't want to have an arced tab. Like it really doesn't want to do that. So I really fought for 4 days to try and build that. As I showcased, the end level was this, which is pretty good. But it didn't work. I tried to add like buttons just on top of the segments where it's supposed to be, and then for some reason, adding a rotation per button, not a thing. Not a thing. And yeah, Robert's Why, same thing. As I kind of said last week, or Monday, I forgot. If I were to build that in React Native, it would be done. It would be finished. We would have finished the entire thing on the first week, because I had the entire thing working on the first week. If I had done that in React, yeah, would have been good. But nah. I just, yeah. For fuck's sake. So that entire thing took a while to have working, and then there are stuff that I can't do as well. Technical limitation right now because I'm using Swift UI and not UI Kit, which is different. So for example, having like the model being blurring the background, that is not, I don't know, not that much. The main code has been done using Claude. Claude has this project section, and in the project section, you probably can see that I have plenty of that. But 27 days ago is when I started, so basically a month ago. A project can contain files, so I had like most of the things done. And it's just asking question and related to the code. And now cursor is kind of better, because let's say I'm doing something like that's gonna be kind of complicated. Let's see. If I do if I do that, and we say something along the line of, I'm working the profile view. That's the one that is messed up. I don't think it will load right there. I'm gonna attempt that. And it's gonna break. Yeah. More than 5 seconds. That's the thing that I hate. And it's not a setting. Like, I wish I could have that on a setting on Xcode and say, well, if it takes like 10 seconds, I'm still good. Because you can render things, but apparently you can't do that. Anyways, let's say I was working on this specific like components, right there, the character components, and I just need to be in the character components there and just add it as an option and say, I don't know, let's do there. Let's make the master background red. It just scanned the file, which is what I love the most. Check the things, look for character components background fill, which is what I'm looking at right now, but I could have been here. And then the class or case mastered is now red. And that's the difference. So I can like copy paste, but I can also just say apply. It gives me this and I accept, not accept. If I'm here, and on Xcode, I'm still the same thing. If I save, it will refresh this section, and I can check it out. And now I have the background red, the slight bit of opacity, so now it's kind of pink. And that's basically what I've been doing for the past months. Ensuring that things work, and once that I understood where things are when it comes to like design for this component specifically, I know that anything that is in my style section, anything that works or how it works, like for example right now I have my gradients that is just stepped. I made it as like 3 steps in order to make sure that I have like the right transitions in between steps. That could be transformed into a radial gradient instead of a regular gradient. There is a ton of materials that also are interesting in iOS for like transparency and all of that. So I'm learning. Not really, but looking at things and learning a bit. That's fun, in a way. But yeah, so Josh, to answer your question, if you're still lurking, learning front-end, not really interested. Learning app design like Swift UI is more interesting to me because it combines everything and you don't really need a lot more like knowledge than on the web. I feel like on the web you need like way more understanding of way more stuff. Like if I were to be a designer and a dev for iOS, I would just need to learn Swift UI, and that's about it. I would probably need to learn some stuff about backends for sure. But if I were to do the same thing on web, I would need to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, views, felts, any frameworks that is the one that the team that I'm working with work with. Whereas if I'm on a team that works on iOS apps, Yeah, no, they all do the same thing. I know. But that's I mean, the difference in between React and Svelte or Vue, like they all do the exact same thing, but their language is different to a degree, and so it's still different. So I may not understand. Like I would be a front end for React Core, but then someone comes in with the Vue app, and I'm like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. I can't understand it. Whereas if I'm, again, with that example of Swift app, I'm joining a team that does Swift app. It's the same language for everyone, which is easier. I feel like it's easier. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Nonetheless, that's the app. It kind of works. It's not necessarily a language learning app, so that's why I said no, Stoney. I know you saying that it is, but it's kind of not really a language learning app. For now, because the dictionary is not really what I'm focusing on. It's more of a character learning app, which is not good. And it's mainly made. God damn it. We don't have that. It's mainly made to like help me have a bit of an understanding of radicals, but that's about it. Like that specific page right here, that yeah, that just gives you a bit of a hint of where radicals are supposed to be placed and how do they behave, what are their content, where are they coming from, like all of that is mostly the thing. Also that scroll non-scrolling is ugh. Eesh. So bad. But then again, this entire thing is built upon an XML file that is not entirely understood and structured in a way that makes sense to me. So I had to recompose it in a way. I had to do some Python script. Can you believe that? To make sure that it works. It had the content I needed. And after that, it's also not linked together. So the data that I want to have in the app specifically right now isn't really present on both of these XML files. So I had to build my own kind of radical structure based on this website I showcased some weeks ago, which is pretty useful overall. But I'm not gonna just have that on hand and navigate it and look at it on my own without really having the ability to just quickly expand things. It has a ton of content in there, I get that, but it's kind of hard. So yeah, one of the things that I did though was get on that website source code and scraped the radical list. Took me a fat hour to figure it out, but I figured it out. So yeah. So that's why I'm not saying that it's a language learning app. It's mostly a character learning app with structure, foundational thing. As soon as I add the right structure for the dictionary, basically, and also like the content that needs to be in the quizzes, as in words that people use and all of that. It's gonna become a language learning app, but for now it's not. Not just yet. That's why I'm not saying it is. That makes sense. Yeah, you know, all that. All that. But yeah, it's the thing that I just showcased earlier. This entire concept and this entire idea of building the app came from this. This single screenshot of an app somewhere that is probably something design related. They say photo and video editing. Well, that's all I know. This entire thing triggered me to create a full-on kanji related app. So that's a bit of a good base for anyone that was looking for inspiration. As I was saying, or as I say all the time, inspiration comes from everywhere. Just look around and you will find things that just make you inspired. Make you inspired. That will inspire you. God damn it, I can't speak today. So yeah, this one was pretty interesting. You can see how the background is kind of similar. They have a repetition, space repetition system, but I don't know. One of the thing that I wanted to use is the Kanji VG project, which is this magnificent thing, which I love so much. It's really good, and it just show you the stroke order, the way that the kanji is supposed to be rendered, and gives you as well as the radicals that are used for the creation of the kanjis, and all of that makes a lot of sense. But iOS doesn't support SVGs, which makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like in 2024, SVG is not supported by default on iOS. That is just... I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know why. Yeah. If you want an SVG in Swift UI, you need to put it in a PDF. Yes. Vector graphics are in PDF, not SVGs. SVGs is not supported. In order for me to have SVGs, I needed to have the SVG kit enabled in the project, and that didn't work. Yeah, it makes no sense. Makes no sense. So yeah, that's that was bad. That was so bad. Yeah, no, me too. I don't really understand how they are still not able to have SVGs supported. That's I don't get it. I don't get it. The thing that is good is that you have the ability to download the SVGs as PNGs in there. So yeah, it could. It could. I agree. I could agree with that. I could agree with that. I could. So yeah, I don't know. The full, the initial concept, or one of the initial concepts that I also had, was to, based on the radicals, as I was showcasing here, based on the radical, have like the split of explaining, oh, this is radical number 1, radical number 2, that specific thing, that radical here is used in that 4 radical, which is also used here. That decomposition is what I do love in learning, like the kanjis specific. What happened? He got it. The virus on what? As in what? As it a human virus, or as in a computer virus? It's 2 different types of viruses. It is my internet. Which makes no sense. That it's not. I just saw the entire internet thing drop, and my Wi-Fi here got disconnected. I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm wired, but yeah. Since that got disconnected, it means that my entire internet connection just basically dropped. I have no drop frames, which makes no sense. I do blame frames as well, yeah. We have had no issues for the past